here to celebrate the fact that I've been in the same business for 20 years, and this year is in fact my 20th anniversary. Over that period of time, I've seen the business grow, prosper and expand. Over that time, I too have grown, prospered and expanded. It's not an easy task to remain in the same business for such a long period of time, and tonight I just want to celebrate my success by sharing a few survival tips that I've learned along the way. And my first survival tip is that you need to walk in through that same door at the same time every day. And when you leave at the end of the day, you need to walk out of that same door at the same time every evening. Otherwise, you will die. Maintaining that routine is so vitally important. If there's any change up, any adjustment, any late arrivals, early arrivals, different door entry, different door exit, you'll be disorientated, you'll be unsettled, and you won't know what's going on. If you leave through a different door at the end of the day or a different time, then you won't be able to explain why you feel so unsettled and so disrupted when you get home. You'll be all out of whack. So that's vitally important. The second survival tip is just as vitally important. And I can only share this one with the blokes because it's personal knowledge that I have. Please don't walk into the men's bathroom smiling. As a worker in an office, and when you're walking out and you met somebody that's walking in with a big smile on their face, what does that mean? What are they about to do? Why are they looking so pleased? That too is unsettling and unnecessary, and please don't go down that track. Survival tip number 3. If it's your turn to be in charge of the food trolley, make sure all the donuts, the lamingtons and the vanilla slices are cut in half. Nobody wants to be seen buying a whole donut or a whole vanilla slice or a whole lamington. 2 halves is fine. A half and a half is fine. But you don't want to be seen as the pig in the office who overindulges in the sugar that's available. And while we're speaking about food, make sure you have your lunch at your desk. You might have a lovely communal lunchroom, you might have a really good tea room, but they're for losers and their loser mates. You need to sit at your desk, you need to make sure it's a hot dinner, preferably if it is from one of the following food categories: a boiled egg, tinned fish, or some pasta with loads of parmesan cheese on the top. And in fact, you need to keep a spare parmesan cheese shaker on your desk just in case you run short. Number 4, personalities in the office naturally will always irritate you. In fact, you'll find that there's more people who don't want to sit next to each other that do want to sit next to each other. You're the only one that's friendly, amenable and accommodating. Everyone else is unpleasant. That's a given, that's a known, accept it. Number 5, people leave the business, go on to other careers, resign, retire. You need to celebrate that fact. Whenever there's an announcement that somebody has left, inevitably it'll be somebody that you've been embarrassed in, you've got some sort of shame shiver about. It's somebody which you might have had some encounter with 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that every time you pass them in the corridor, that memory always comes back. So when there's a resignation, it's time to celebrate. You'll no longer have that irritant in your path that you tended to avoid it. You didn't go that way, you didn't go that way, because that person might have been also going in that same direction. You might have embarrassed yourself at a Christmas party. Well, that person has now left and your slate is clean. Speaking of Christmas parties, don't go. Don't accept, tap out, it doesn't involve you. It's with a whole lot of people that you don't normally socialise with. Your boss is not your mate. All the wider business are not full of friends that want to engage with you. It's not for you. Do not get involved. And the final survival tip is about the key form of communication. It's the email. You need to keep the email flame wars going. And I'll give you an example. This is a real example of how you can prosper and how you can be engaging and how it will really work for you. The other day I got an email from a sales colleague, and it went something like this. Dear Malcolm, could you send me our exclusive GST sell price of a bottle of water? Thanks, Wardy. I wrote back, Dear Wardy, this is something that you can find out yourself through your Salesforce folder. Regards, Malcolm. The response came back, Dear Malcolm, unfortunately my Salesforce folder is blocked and I can't access it. Could you give me the exclusive GST price of bottled water? Regards, Wardy. Dear Mr. Ward, okay, are you after 125ml, 750ml, 1 litre, a pallet, half pallet, a carton? What price do you want? Of which product? Kind regards, Malcolm. The answer came back. Dear Brown, 125ml. Thanks, Mr. Ward. I wrote back. Dear Mr. Ward, Mount Franklin or Aqua to Go? Exceedingly kind regards, Mr. Brown. The answer came back. Brown, Mount Franklin. I replied, $2.55. The reply came back. Dear Brown, I ask for the exclusive GST price of a bottle of water. Is $2.55 exclusive or inclusive? Dear Mr. Ward, I'm sorry that you've missed out on the 1999 legislation information about the application of GST and how there are some categories that are excluded, of which unprocessed food is one of those categories, and bottled water fits into that category of unprocessed food. And therefore the question of whether GST applies to that is both redundant and ignorant on your part. So the $2.55 applies whether it's exclusive of or inclusive. Exceedingly kind regards, Mr. Brown. And I'll put a little PS on the end just to ram the point home. Please be aware that I'm typing this email with my 2 middle fingers. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, are the 5 power tips on how to survive in any office.